Or Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Ba'asher Hakudash. I also want to give double honors to our apostles, the great millstone, rule well, and peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. On the high spirit, wind, Judah, the Jim Mississippi count. And today I want to go into a lesson entitled, part of the prison was our ignorance. Part of the imprisonment, all right, with the 12 tribes is our ignorance, all right? Because, in order to make somebody, all right, submit in your prison, all right, they have to really forget who they were. So the 12 tribes were somewhat institutionalized in Esau's system, right? Because within the system, right, is your mind. Your mind has been encaged or imprisoned within the system. So the result of that is you not knowing who you are, all right? And not only that, you are living in a prison planet, all right? Esau's system is a prison planet, all right? And he does that, all right, through your ignorance, all right? So when it comes to this particular lesson, all right, something I noticed about the 12 tribes, all right, as opposed to Esau, we don't know nothing outside of Esau's world, man, right? We don't know how to build houses. We don't know how to utilize the earth. And I always press this issue. We, as the 12 tribes, don't know how to utilize the earth for our sustenance, for our survival, right? And even if we did, we have to do it within Esau society. So part of that prison is just our lack of the general knowledge of how to sustain a nation. All right, it's primarily with the laws, but also utilizing the earth for your people, for your nation. So this is Lamentations chapter 5, right, verse 4. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. All right, we have drunken our water for money. All right, yeah, you have to buy water. That's pretty much self-explanatory. You have to buy water, man. Where it says, verse 5, our necks are under persecution. Yeah, you know how many Israelites have to work 2, 3 jobs to survive, man? Right? You're subject to a payment. All right. In the movie End Time with Justin Timberlake, their currency was time, but the elites only allotted the common people enough time to literally make it to the next day. But you can say that movie was a metaphor for what we experience now today. All right, because the elites pretty much pay Jake enough to make it to the next day or the next pay period. All right. So pretty much most Americans, especially Jake, they only have enough money to get to the next pay period, but that's not by coincidence. All right, that's a form of servitude, right? And it's a system to keep the servants going to work, right? Lamentations 5:5. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest, and our people have no rest. That's why so many Jakes just stopped working during when the stimulus checks went out, man. All right. We have given the hands of the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. All right. But the point was pretty much that you have to go through your enemy, all right, to get your nourishments, man. Or your everyday survivals, man, for lack of better words. Let me get that in Deuteronomy. But part of the curses is our ignorance, all right? We once knew how to utilize the earth for the sustenance of our people. And when you get it from that perspective, you don't really have a problem with a woman because she's within your structure. All right, you build a house and she lives in it, All right. Let me get that in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28. Let's see if I can find that verse. All right, Deuteronomy 28:43. The stranger that is within thee should get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee. Yeah, he does it he lends to you or through the banking system, because another word for lend is loan. Hence a government loan, all right, or a bank loan, all right, to get a loan to pay the bankers for a mortgage, man, or basically put yourself in debt to get a house or to finance a vehicle, man. Right? He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. All right. But generally, all right, you use the trees. All right, you saw this account in Second Kings when King Solomon was having the kingdom built, his kingdom built. All right, they took the trees, all right, and used that to build a temple. All right, so that goes to show you that you use trees. All right, you turn the trees into wood, and you build a frame for a house with trees. But we are in a prison planet because we're totally detached from the earth. All right. So that's general knowledge that every nation will really possess. All right. But once you live in this convenient tech society, all right, you're sold by the convenience of it. But the end result is if there's some type of blackout, some power outage, some economic collapse, you're through. That's the form of modern day slavery. One of the key elements in slavery is dependency. You totally plan on you totally depend on your oppressor for your survival, man, because Jake really isn't so-called educated, which educate means to draw from within. But Jake really lacks understanding of the earth and the world. But on the other end of that spectrum, all right, Esau, he knows how to hunt. All right, Esau fish. All right, it's nothing for Esau to take his son hunting, man. But Jake is totally detached from that. Not saying that if we learn how to live off the earth, then we're good. No, we want the kingdom. But just for edification's sake, all right, this is one of the reasons, this is part of our imprisonment, man. All right. We live in a prison planet because the warden of this prison planet is the so-called white man. All right. And he wants you to be totally dependent on him for your survival. And that's why the ultimate goal is to put a chip on you, all right, to submit the fact that you are a prisoner in his world, in his prison planet, man. All right. But that just, a quick lesson, all right? Let me get another closing scripture just to prove that we are in captivity, because Jake like to think, because he got his taxes and his stimulus check, and now he didn't got a license, all right, to drive commercial vehicles. He's not in slavery anymore. You know how Jake is, man. All right? Let me see. Find the scripture. All right? Deuteronomy 28:48. In closing, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. All right, but that's the conclusion of this lesson, just for quick edification, that part of our imprisonment is our ignorance, man. All right, and that's part of the reason why Esau and the other nations, they excel above you, because Esau cast the net for you with so-called black culture, Hispanic culture, all right? And he kept your mind and your interests and your investments into folly. Meanwhile, the other nations, all right, they're traveling, all right, they're reading all types of books about the economy and government, and Esau was putting money onto the side of town where Esau lives, man. But on your end, you're deprived. But every other Jake knows how to rap or make beats, play basketball, or sell drugs. All of it, that's pretty much folly, and the economy doesn't need that. All right, so part of your imprisonment, all right, is your lack of information, man. You're information deprived. That's how you're spiritually deprived, and you're physically deprived because you have a poor diet. All right, you're information deprived. Jake doesn't really know anything, man. You come into this truth under the tutelage of the apostle, starting with the apostle Tahar. All right, the spirit is on you to just explore more outside of your bubble, man. All right, explore more. Understand how, like the brother and I, Kempa Yasha, goes into geopolitics, or understand economics, and understand geography, understand history, because you really can't be a Bible scholar unless you really have some type of insight on those things, man. All right, but you also have to be willing to live what you teach. All right, you can't be cursing out Israel, but you're not elevating as a person, man. All right, because part of that prison, part of some of those shackles, you could take off on this side. Just, learning more, doing, elevating yourself, pushing yourself past this nigga mindset, man. All right? And that's what it means to fully come into your nationality and fully be born again, man. All right, and that's why I said you should know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Because part of your imprisonment was the lies that was taught to you by Esau, man. All right? Which kept you ignorant, and that ignorance kept you in prison. All right, but with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Hawashai Bashim Chakadash. I also want to give double honor to our apostles, the great millstone Ruel. Peace and blessed to us, David the elect. With that, Abba, Kong Yashala, Shalom.